So I wanted to talk to you about what legal rights you do or do not have with cloud computing. When you put your data and information in somebody's servers or systems that are outside of your control or possession, you are basically giving your information to these organizations. And for instance, with some of these social media websites, for instance Facebook, when you go online and you say, I'm going to put pictures on your servers and I'm going to post information and I'm going to put data on your systems, same thing with Google Mail or with any hosted service. Typically all you get is an agreement to check a box, which you click next. I've never actually read any of those agreements. I'm certain that no one else does. If you did read them, they would state that they basically own your information and they can do whatever they want with it. So the same thing goes with these smaller and larger providers that are hosting information, whether it be a rack space or one of these big corporations, or just small, specialized, or even local firms, or a company like ours that has maybe started to host server systems in a small data center. And so what kind of an agreement would I have? Would I have any, or you even sign an agreement? And so when you give your information to these providers, you definitely want to consider the fact that now you may actually not own that data anymore or the rights to it. It becomes theirs. You legally may not have any access to it. So if this company that you gave your data to starts to have business problems and fails and goes under, what if their computer systems were overutilized and underbuilt, meaning that, say they do a lot of work with CPA firms, and the CPAs then they amp up their utilization needs in the first quarter of every year. And now all of a sudden the system runs slow and they can't get it right, and the system starts to crash and fail, and then it's offline, and you're in the middle of tax season and you can't even do your work. This is the time of the year when it needs to be working, and you're making all of the profits that are going to float you for the rest of the year, and the system could be offline. What about your clients? If you have their information, their personal data in your systems, and now you've given it to another provider to host for you, and you've basically, without your client's knowledge, given their data to somebody else. That seems like I would be upset, especially if that provider was breached and my information was compromised as a result of them having it and I didn't know where it was. Should there be laws that allow clients to know where their information is, where your clients need to know? So there's a lot to think about. Like I said, a lot of these agreements in my blog statement, most agreements are designed to protect the provider. If you break my agreement, this is what's going to happen to you. Very seldom do you see, this is what your right is, and an agreement should protect the consumer or the customer. But in most cases, it does not. So before you check off that box that says, I agree, and you click next, or you do that without knowing you're doing it, you give some consideration to what you're doing with your data. Thank you very much.